right, so what you have learned yesterday was imagery, right? So what you learned last week and yesterday, both of them indicate our visual perception and mental imagery. It seems to be quite similar, right? So that we can imagine something, that means it's activating similar part of our brain activity. So yeah, that is what we have learned yesterday. So the first question I want to raise today is, we have seen the reversible rabbit thing yesterday, right? Right? So that is about this question. So you know the Chambers and Risberg's experiment about mental imagery, the rabbit thingy. Look in your book. Okay, reversible ducks and rabbit figure. Okay, so that experiment is pointed out something very important implication about the difference between mental imagery and visual perception. Okay, a little bit different. Okay, that is what this experiment says about something, right? So let me ask you, answer is, oh, it's not B, it's A. So I explained it, right? In most of the case, okay, the mental imagery and visual perception seems to be similar, but Chambers and Risberg's the dogs experiment say there are differences between mental image and visual perception of real object. Otherwise, if you do not understand the answer, read the textbook. It says it is. Okay? The reason? Okay, I will go back to your information then. So, okay. What was it? So, when they see this picture, when participants see this picture, okay, just a short time period, and then they have to memorize it, this one. Okay? When they asked what they have seen, they can only say one information, one interpretation, either ducks or rabbit. But after they being asked to draw what they have seen from their mental imagery, when they draw it, and then they can tell us two of the interpretation, both of them, rabbit and ducks. Which means mental imagery is only can tell one information, but after you write down in here, write down on the paper, so you can say two interpretations, which means your visual perception is working. Okay, second question is not a question, it's not pop quiz, it's about survey. Okay, so you remember that this one, the mental rotation task, isn't it? So what is the outcome of this experiment when they have angular difference is bigger? When they need to mental calculation, it takes longer time, isn't it? Right, that's what we have to learn, which means we are mentally calculating some of the information in here. My question is, it's not question, it's survey. If we can put some of the color codings on the block, if we put the color coding on some of the blocks, we don't have any color coding in here. Everything is only 3D dimensional, 3D information with no color information. But if we can put some of the color information, can you do calculation faster or slower? You get it? You understand what I'm saying? That is kind of your final exam question. Kind of, I'm not saying that is the final exam question, that is kind of final exam question. Okay? So that is very important. Shepard and Matchless experiment say we are mentally calculating, so that if the angular difference is bigger, it takes longer time to find the differences, or same thing. Okay? But if we intentionally add up some of the color coding in each of the block, it takes longer or shorter? If you believe that take longer, this is survey. This is not a question. I want to hear your view. Okay? So if you put the color coding on Shepherd Bachelor study, if you believe takes shorter time, go to yes. Longer time, go to no. Okay? Longer, shorter.
Question.
Oh, question. Good.
One of the block has color, only one.
One of the block. One of the block. Only one block has a color coding. Okay? Okay, if you believe that is longer, go to yes. Okay, longer, go to yes. Take longer, yes. Shorter, no. After that, I will pinpoint one of you, pick up one of you, and give you interpretation. Taeun, you might be the one. Okay, ready? Okay, 30 seconds. Okay. Let me see. Oh, really 50-50. There is no correct answer in here. So that's why I put in here 50-50. Around 35, yeah, 35 versus 70, something 65. Okay, so why do you think, what did the answer? Yes or no? You? Oh.
Actually, I has answer no.
No, it's shorter time.
Yeah, but
Take a shorter time?
depends on the people who
Depends on people
the people who survey.
being surveyed, okay?
Survey. So because the people can make confused color coding.
Right. Any other view? I know your name, 지훈, yeah, 박지웅. Yeah. What do you think? Yes or no? No, you also think about it takes shorter time.
Yeah.
Why? Tell me reason. You put a random? Yes or no? Today's feeling is no.
Yeah.
Okay. Say it. Spell out.
I think so.
Take time.
Yeah. The color point is have to recognize the place of
The block.
yeah.
Right. So probably we need a more experiment and controlled experiment. Good, very good. So I believe it takes a shorter time, but there are two reasons. One is color perception is pre-attentive process, right? Which means you can process this one very quickly before attention. So that this information is really quick, right? So you can use this color information to locate whether that has been moved or the angular difference. It can complement angular difference. It could be, that is one reason. A second reason might be color coding gives us spatial information. 공간 information. Okay? Spatial information. Because you can find where the color coded. So like seventh or second, first. Right? So using your simple color coding information, you might be decide much quicker than the original Shepherd-Matchless experiment. That's what I'm thinking. That's what Chanyoung will do some experiment, isn't it? On this one? You do? Okay. Right, that is kind of understanding step by step. So if you can combine what you have already understood into the new situation, you can make your own theory. Likewise, so that's why I'm just suggest you have to mix them together, right, to prepare your final exam. There is no right and wrong answer. I want to see your view. If you are logical, if a rationalization is good, you will have a full mark. Okay? Right, we can go back to today's main lecture topic about route knowledge. Right. So that is what we have learned yesterday about Brooks. What is Brooks experiment? The F thingy. Okay, the F, big F thingy. So you have to say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, 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 something like that. That is Brooks experiment. From Brooks experiment, we understood mental imagery. When mental imagery has, people are sensitive to the spatial structure. Okay, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, right? When you have F thingy. But Moyer's experiment, what is Moyer's experiment? The relative size of the picture, the animal picture, animal size. So they understand that from Moyer's experiment, people process visual detail like size, color. Okay, so mental imagery is similar to our visual perception, but our first question say mental imagery and visual perception might be small difference in terms of detail, isn't it? So when you look at that, okay, this one probably mentioned in chapter 1 when we separate visual information and spatial information. But this one is kind of brain activity, neuroscience, understand the brain thingy, the fMRI, using fMRI. So we found that visual information and temporal information is being processed by temporal lobe of our brain, and spatial one is parietal lobe, right? So in here, in our brain, so they are covering the spatial information. Okay, temporal lobe is visual temporal information. So if you have some of the patient who has a very big hit on their forehead, if they might be injured some of the parietal lobe, in that case, they not probably process some of the spatial information. Okay? Likewise, and neuroscience is linked with our cognitive understanding. Say, brain has a certain reason to cover some part of our information processing. That's what I want to say to summarize the mental imagery. But from today on, from today's lecture is majorly talking about how we can use the mental imagery in system design, in particular map design. So cognitive map, that is very important concept when we found some of the location. To live in a life, to have a normal life, is you need to find some place, right? You have to go to restaurant, okay, go to the zoo or cinema or whatsoever. But how we know that these kinds of places? Okay, so the cognitive psychologist has understand that we might have some of the map in here, but how that is represented, how that is stored in here. So many of the studies say we may have two different maps in our brain. One is route map, such as how we get to the Wangsimli station from here to there. When you imagine this one, you probably say, okay, I know, right? So everyone knows how to get to the Wangsimli station, isn't it? That is your route map knowledge, or simply put, route knowledge, or whatever. But that is different thing. How to get to the Gwangju from here? Maybe you know that there's some route knowledge, but that is only small information, such as go to the train station or go to the bus station. Okay, so that from here to that station is your route knowledge, but from that point to the Gwangju, probably you don't have any route knowledge. Absolutely depends on the drivers, right? But if you have some of the knowledge with map, the real map, okay, the Korean Peninsula map, the real map, you probably know the survey knowledge. Okay, we have to coming through Daejeon and Jeonju or something. Because the map gives a real information on the location, isn't it? So when you need to leave, okay, so to make your own lifetime in here, you need two different knowledge. That is mental imagery. right? So cognitive map has two different information knowledge. The route knowledge is representing of the environment consisting of the part of between the location. So you know exactly how to get there, right? But survey map is a little bit different. The position of the location in space. So this information is being much used in navigation situation or driver, or that is the thing. But it also used for user interface design. You never know that, right? UI. I will give an example later on, but we have to know some of the jargon a little bit more. Okay, so the nearly first experiment about cognitive map is Thorndike 1982 experiment was to survey, ask the participant, actually the worker in a building like this one, okay, that is building of the experiment is done, experiment is carried out. So they asked the participant to how to get to somewhere from here. And Thorndike identified two different information is needed to find a place. One group of users has a route knowledge, which they do not have any landmark information like this one. They don't have any map knowledge like this one, but they know how to get from here to here. Because we can't use any outside information, so only they know how to from here to my office, such as here to my office. But we don't have any bird eye view, so we don't know exactly where the path is drawn, right? But some people, they don't care. They only know how to get from here to there, the A to B. And the other group of people has some survey knowledge. Say they know that whole building structure, so they exactly know from here to there how to get. But benefit about survey map is much more than route knowledge. If you get lost, you may get lost, right? Anyone has some experience. You get lost in an environment or in a strange place. Route knowledge or route information doesn't help you to get out from this situation because you have only one route knowledge. That's why most of missing children, that happens in the department store. They only know the one route. Okay? So if you have a missing children, probably you're missing parents for you. So you have to go to where these people are frequently using it. So you can find them. Right? So that is being used in many of the forensic psychology too. But point is, right, the key issue about the cognitive map is we have two different maps, and many of the other studies also found that route knowledge is activated in the action plan area in our brain. Okay, route knowledge is placed in somewhere different from survey knowledge. Survey map is like a visual image. Where is a visual image stored? This one or this one? Temporal, right? So this one is being covered to support our survey map. Okay, like a visual image, like looking at the real map, the atlas, right? Atlas, big atlas. So that's why I mentioned the two very important knowledge which we'll cover in next week and week 12. We have two different separate knowledge, procedural knowledge and declarative knowledge. What is procedural knowledge? I forgot your name, sorry. Hun. You have Hun, isn't it? No? Something Hun, no? Jiwan, yeah, Jiwan, yeah. Kim Jiwan. Yes, yeah. What is procedural knowledge? Okay, procedural knowledge is route map. How can you say procedural knowledge? The knowledge about what? Knowledge about how or what? Oh, yeah. Knowledge about how to do it. So for example, how to cook, okay? How to clean. So that is procedural knowledge. That relevant to the timing issue. Okay? If you have know something to do, which means you need a procedural knowledge. Okay? That's what we have to do. And declarative knowledge is about the fact. Okay? What happened yesterday? Yeah. I ate 고기, 불고기 thingy, right? So that is fact in here. So our knowledge, many of them, some people has a different classification about knowledge, but many people still using these two different knowledge type. One is procedural knowledge and declarative knowledge. To handle, which means to cope with these two different knowledge, we may need different types of information design. So if you want to provide procedural knowledge, such as how to draw chart on Microsoft Excel, how to draw a chart, 태훈? How to draw a chart? Chart, graph, on Excel. Have you used Excel? Never? Microsoft Excel. Oh, how to use it? We use, go to certain menu, right? And then click the chart widget mainly, okay, chart widget. And then they give a step-by-step procedure, right? It helps, so that chart widget really help us to complete the test because we don't need to retrieve how to draw chart from our memory, right? Because they guide us step-by-step with the visual perception. You get it? So chart widget, like that, when you click the one of the button in here, okay, probably option, insert, yeah, okay, something, maybe some of the chart. So when you click this one, the dialog box turn up, right? Right? So that they will show there are 4 steps. So that is 4.1, or 1 out of 4. Okay, and then title is select chart type. Okay, and they show that, right? Heaps of different chart. Bar chart or Pareto chart or whatsoever. And then they goes the second, when you click next in here, they will show another dialog box, 2x4, right? Chart type. Okay, select range, select data range. Okay, yes and no. Next. Right? And then another one, right? So using this procedural knowledge is really difficult to retrieve in normal situation. So if we can make an interface like that, which means that interface support your knowledge retrieve from recall, because they are supporting procedural knowledge. Isn't it? Right? Get it? Because that has a procedure, so you don't need to remember how to draw a chart. Get it? Yeah? No response too early in the morning? I get bored. Okay. Am I right, Jang-san? Yeah, procedural knowledge. They will provide interface, or you system designer make these kinds of interface. The reason is we want to support procedural knowledge, which is difficult to retrieve. Okay, so declarative knowledge is also can be supported by the some of the information design, such as search, help. You can search it, right? If you know the fact, okay, you can just starting from the search keyword to find the information. Likewise, our mental imagery and map information is closely linked together. And that's why we have to a little bit more look into it. So that is example, one of them. Many of you doesn't need to remember where the locations are of the particular menu item, isn't it? That is beauty about graphic user interface. Graphic user interface doesn't need to remember any of the procedural knowledge, but sometimes when you need to find a particular menu item, you need to remember some of the location. New in the file menu. Where is the new? Top or bottom?
Top.
Why that goes to the top? Probably that is most frequently used so that reduce the mouse movement, right? And second reason, easy to find, okay? So because that is frequent work job. And that is similar with our location information, say new and close or end in the bottom, right? If you have put the new on the top, close at the bottom, that has kind of congruency, starting, end. And also that if you have a consistent interface, so all the Microsoft interface and most of the application, new is first one, isn't it? New is the first menu item, so you know that where the new is. So if you face totally new interface or new application, new is the first one because you're trying to transfer what you have now into the new situation. Just imagine that if you develop the new interface without new or the new in somewhere else, people gonna get confused, isn't it? Because we have survey knowledge. Okay, that fact. New is first, always. Okay, that's why we have to make a consistent interface between the application or between with other application too. Okay, and also that is interesting example. Say in 2003 or 4, maybe before that time, Microsoft developed totally new menu structure, which is called intelligent menu item, intelligent menu structuring, which means if you have a frequent use menu item, that goes on the top. So for example, if your preference is you're always using the color change, so if the software understand you users using this option pretty much well, that goes on to the top automatically. So, but now we don't have such a menu structure or menu item. Why? Because we can't establish one, survey knowledge. Because people have some difficulty, even though that intelligent menu item is trying to helping us to easily find most frequent one, to moving around this menu item, but that doesn't help us to make our survey knowledge. We have a survey knowledge, right? The fact, okay? Text is always first, rather than color. Am I indent, right? Such as. So that is being used in the interface design too. Many of you guys, Samsung Galaxy has some, what is it? The locking to unlock the mobile phone, you have to use some kind of pattern, isn't it? So that is probably some of the what? What knowledge? It's not survey, it's kind of procedural, okay? So they are remembering this one as a certain procedure. So now go to some of the more practical example of my mom. She never knows where Bundang is, but she knows how to get to Bundang. Survey or route? Route? Kyuyang? What is it? Route knowledge or survey knowledge? You should have a route knowledge or survey knowledge? Route knowledge, right? So, using this, many of the route knowledge or survey knowledge, we can make some navigation system. So to design the navigation system, we need to understand two different perspectives. One is egocentric perspective, and the other one is allocentric perspective, which means world view. Like north is top, south is bottom, east is your right, west is on your left. The normal atlas always using north, south, right? So egocentric view is exactly your viewpoint. I'm looking at this one. Okay, so the map should be congruent with my viewpoint. So that designed for navigation, your car driving. When you're driving, when you turn left, also map is rotating on the navigation, right? Get it? So that means they support egocentric representation. Just imagine that. So you turn left, but map is still there. How do you feel that? Oh, we have a certain map. So this one is egocentric view. This one is allocentric view. Okay, even though you're driving in this way, okay, I mean, you turn right, they will show still the same location. Intentionally, we may need to know allocentric view, such as long distance travel, you know where you are. So in that case, allocentric view can help you to find your current location, like aircraft pilot, okay? The big vessel ship players need some atlas, real allocentric view, because they don't have any other landmark knowledge on a sky, up to the sky, or on the sea. They don't have any landmark knowledge, right? Landmark. Okay, landmark. I will explain this one. Okay, to make your current position, to aware your current position, the first knowledge you need landmark knowledge, such as where I am. So I'm left Necton. Okay, my right is rubbish bin. Okay, so I'm using very big or very salient landmark, such as if you want to go to Gwanghwamun, okay, you know the statue, the General Lee and Sejong King Sejong. So that is kind of your landmark knowledge. Okay, when you go to the Yeouido, you know where the 63 building, so that you know that how to find another building from this major landmark. Okay, that is your first step. Okay, first step to develop your map knowledge. And then when you go into there to find one place to the other, you can establish route knowledge, and then at the end, okay, survey knowledge. Interesting things about this one, about the London taxi drivers experiment. It's not experiment, it's kind of experiment, okay? So one of the psychologists has surveyed London taxi driver, okay? That is the chicken and egg problem. London taxi driver, of course the same in Korea. The taxi driver knows many of the routes, isn't it? And then they measured their spatial cognition. Their spatial cognition is much higher than normal people, which means they are smart. Of course, spatial knowledge is linked to your IQ, right? So the question was by this psychologist was whether some people who have a high spatial cognition become a taxi driver, or taxi driver become to have high spatial recognition, which means innate nature or lesson learned by your experience. That goes into your philosophical question, whether people are born in evil or born in likewise, the other way around, yeah? Which one is right? People who have a spatial cognition or route knowledge could become a driver. Like architect. Architect has a high level of spatial cognition, right? When you measure it. So high spatial cognition people become architect, or architect learn this spatial cognition. Nobody knows yet. Female and male. Female has high level of verbal skill. Okay? When they're born, they have a bigger left hemisphere. Left hemisphere is bigger than boys. Okay? And this one is true. So that's why the female is much better in writing and speaking in linguistic form. The male has a dominant in the visual information processing. But maybe we evolved like that. We evolved like that because males have to hunt and collect the food, so they need the visual information processing, isn't it? They have to hunting animals, right? So that's why they need the visual information much faster. But moms have to caring their children at home, so they need radar visual information, so they develop some of the language information processing. We might be. That is one theory. Likewise, architect. Female, sorry. So one of the research questions in the education psychologist is this one. Why the female doesn't want to go to the College of Engineering? Like we have many girls in here, but most dominant one is the male, isn't it, boys? So some of the education psychologists trying to understand what types of female go to the College of Engineering. So they measure many different things like spatial cognition, the verbal cognition, and one of the findings is compared to some female student in other department, the College of Engineering female student has a high level of spatial cognition. So they love games too, because game need a spatial cognition. Do you? Sewa? No? You don't like games? But I mean something different. So might be that is kind of issue about how the knowledge about our cognitive understanding into selecting people. That is we are discussing in week 14 in organizational psychology. So when you pick up the right people in the right position, you need to see many different types of their personality, preference, their cognitive skills, so that you can put the right people in the right position. Anyway, that is a little bit bypassed from this knowledge. But so, that's what I want to say. Okay. So rotating map is for our egocentric view. When I look into the map should be also rotated to congruent to me. Right? Get it? Okay. So people will often rotate a physical map, so probably you have many experience when you have to find it with the real atlas, you have to rotating it to see the same position of it. Okay? So that is what many people do it. This experiment is clearly indicate when the, exactly same with the Shepard and Metzler's experiment. Say, when you have a big angular difference, it takes longer time. So likewise, with the map and my current view has a big angular difference, it takes longer time. So they need to mental rotation. Okay? So, to judgment about where I am, or where I'm driving to, you need two different views. One is foveal vision and peripheral vision. This one is not covered by your textbook, so I just found some of the information from my understanding about ego motion. Say, foveal vision is visual acuity. So when I look in the Taeun, so I'm just processing his visual information in very accurately, right? But when you drive, it's very warm, isn't it? When you're driving it, okay, you need peripheral vision. So when you need to find where you are, foveal vision is not much your help. You need a wide view. So to understand where trees are, where the rubbish bins are, where the other coming car coming to me, or that kinds of thing need to be covered in a wide view. So to find where you are, you need a peripheral vision. That's why when you make your navigation system, what information displayed? So we have to provide what? When you make a map on navigation, you need to provide what? First one is landmark knowledge. That's why I put the Outback Steakhouse, 63 building, right? That's why they put the landmark information. And also, your map design can help you to support many of the peripheral vision information. It's not in front of you. They're not showing much about where you are or in front of you, some information in front of you. They will show some of the other information behind or next to the foveal vision. So every design has a reason. Okay? It's not simply when you draw, it's not a design. Every engineering design has a reason based on our perception or our cognitive process. That's why you need it in a many industry. Okay, that is things, I mentioned it. And survey knowledge is sometimes better when you need to find the new route in a strange place. When you get lost, you need the survey knowledge rather than route knowledge. But mostly, route knowledge is quickly retrieved. Okay, But also our textbook is talking about map distortion. So I mentioned about this one yesterday, which one is north. Because of the categorical information or hierarchical information of our knowledge representation, that is the interesting part also. Our knowledge is stored in hierarchical structure. Likewise, 한양대, what is it? 성동구, 서울, 대한민국. Likewise, right? We have hierarchical information in here. Because of this hierarchical information, when you look at this question, many of you will say this one is north. Because that is 북도, this one is 남도. However, actually, that is not the one. Okay? 청주 in here, 천안? Yeah, 천안 in here. So 천안 is for the north, then 청주. Because of our hierarchical information representation. That's why this experiment was that when you have this kind of boundary, the map knowledge, some people say this one is north, this one is south, and this one is north. Because that area is located on the north area rather than south area. They are trying to categorize them. So another mental imagery issue was rectilinear normalization, which I mentioned yesterday. So we trying to simplify our our route knowledge or survey knowledge with a rectilinear normalization, like a right angle thingy. So that is what the design is like that. Also same thing. Final section of chapter 4 is talking about whether we can imagine some of the information from sentence. Okay, so when I say, okay, just imagine that in front of you, okay, just imagine that in front of you there are big trees, on your right side the big chair, on your left side something else. Okay, when I say this one, okay, you can imagine that, and then this experiment is we can easily find our in front of our front and our back rather than right and left. So we can easily find from imagination to locate what object in front of me, what object just behind me. That is all about chapter 4, and then this one is conclusion by John Anderson. Mental imagery and visual perception pretty much overlapped. Okay? Brain activation is also same area, similar area, but there are some difference. So perception needs a very special visual analysis, but imaginary is kind of meaning retrieval. That's why we can't retrieve how many stripes in the tiger. Okay, this chapter is linked to chapter 5, knowledge representation. So a couple of experiment with you guys to understand what is knowledge representation. So I'm just skip to some of the student objective. This one. Okay, so we mentioned about knowledge representation, right? The route knowledge and survey knowledge. What is this one? Chapter 5, starting with some of the patient. So this Luria patient is a Russian journalist, has a nearly, I haven't uploaded this file yet, you just have a look, okay? Okay, Lunia's experiment was, a patient was a perfect memory. Okay, so she remember everything. Well, I don't know, she or he. The Russian journalist has a perfect memory. His memory ability caused him to have a problem with ordinary life, which means this patient remember every details. Your pimp, okay, when they see some people in first time, they remember everything, every detail. But we can't remember it, right? We can't remember such a things. So what is the benefit about our limited memory? Okay, we don't have any perfect memory, right? So we forget many things. Only remember certain important things. So what is the benefit about limited capacity, limited memory capacity? 남자? No, no. Your surname is Nam. 남경, what is it? 맞아. yeah. Try it. What is it? What is the benefit of a limited memory capacity? So you can forget many sad things, right? But technically, or more academically, you know the analogy? Metaphor? Analogy in Korean is 유사, 직유, something like that. Like this one. It looks like bird. Okay, something about this kind of analogy. Okay, that called analogy. Metaphor is like 은유, right? Okay, metaphor, analogy. So this particular person, this patient, can't do any analogy or metaphor. What is the requirement to do metaphor or analogy? If you know the detail of it, you can't say you look like a bird because you don't have any wings, you don't have any beak. So I can't say this one you look like a bird, right? That's why we can do analogy, but only we pinpoint one of the characteristics of the object to say, oh, this one and this bird might be similar. But if this patient, in particular this patient, cannot do this kind of analogy, because he remember every detail of bird and also every detail of this particular Yongjun's face. Right, but how? But the question is, I'm not talking about this patient situation. The question is, what is our knowledge then? So our knowledge is exact word in here or some meaning in here. Or situation, or fact. Okay? Whether that is visual information or whether that is verbal information. Depending on what it is stored in your brain, it depends, we can make different types of information. Okay, that is what I want to raise. So interesting part of it, prefrontal region of our brain process the picture and sentence, and this one process some of the categorical information or concept. Okay? The concept is processed in here, which means might be different. Okay? Okay, some of the fact or real information in here, but more abstract, more conceptual information might be stored in here. So if you look at that, so that is information. See, the prefrontal region of the brain is associated retrieving meaning from the picture and sentence. Interestingly, okay, the female has a bigger left prefrontal. The male has right prefrontal is bigger than female, which means they are good at verbal material processing. We are good at visual material processing. One of my theories is evolution, because they have carrying the children. We are hunting and cooking for them. So normally, that is we're hunting and protecting or something. So we need the information. So and then this one is kind of the information about this conceptual information is stored in here. So the chapter 5 is starting with what information is stored, exact word or meaning. Okay, exact word or meaning. Okay, so the next one is I will show some of the experiment with you. Just look at, wake up. If you're sleeping, wake up. Otherwise, you can't find any difference. So I can show exactly 5 seconds. Okay, both of them is poem. Okay, for Korean student, I made a Yuchiwan's poem. Yuchiwan, not Yuchihe, Yuchiwan. Okay, Yuchiwan, the poet, right? And the second one is Peter Quinn. For the international student, I made 2 poems. Okay, and then 1 poem for, the 1 slide for 5 seconds. Okay. Get it? Huh? Get it? One more? Okay. Get it? Get it? Okay, for Korean student, what is it? What feeling you have? And some kind of sadness, likewise?
Sorrow.
Oh, sorrow. Okay, okay. So can you recall every detail? No? Okay. So okay, you saw just one poem. Okay. And then I will show the same poem. Okay. Another 5 seconds. Okay. So anyone find the difference? Oh, Yonghyun. Yeah, Yonghyun. What is the difference?
파도 and 물.
파도 and 물. Any difference? No one did that? Found any difference? 바다? Right? Okay. So if these kinds of experiment is done by Warner. The Warner trying to find whether people retrieve the meaning or exact word. Okay, so look at that. I will explain the difference. That is first slide you saw. That is second slide you see. Oh, sorry. Okay, the first one is okay, 파도야 어쩌고 저쩌고. See? 묻. Okay, 묻. The land. The second one is it changed into the 바다. Right? And in English one, that was moon, but next one the sun. Okay? So idea about oneness is whether people can read or store knowledge in here with exact word like 묻, 바다, the moon, the sun, or just read the text and take one meaning from this one, like sorrow. When you read this one, probably many of us will sorrow, like a missing girlfriend or boyfriend, right? Likewise, similar, right? So whether we retrieve the meaning of the information, meaning of the whole sentence or exact word. So what he found that, this one, we retrieve the meaning rather than stylistic difference or one single exact word. Okay, we try to retrieve the meaning. And that is stored. Okay? Interesting, isn't it? So we are not stored every detail. That's why when you prepare the your SAT, the university entrance exam, I don't know whether now is the same thing, but in the olden times we try to remember the meaning rather than exact word. But likewise, I mean, very similar with the situation. So this one is very similar with the face recognition. Or picture. See? Okay? You saw it? Oh, you saw the three face? Okay. Have you seen her? Have you seen her or not in the previous slide? Oh, we are very good to find the difference between pictures. So that's why seeing is believing, right? We can find very good. Okay, the difference phase. But, same thing. Okay? Have you seen this word or this sentence? Yes, no. Some people say yes, some people no. Okay? Comparing with these two, when we show the picture at the same time and then ask whether you have seen them or not, you can easily pick up, oh no, we haven't seen her. But when I give some text information and then ask same sentence, have you seen or not, it takes longer or many of them are wrong. Which means picture is more accurately stored in here rather than sentence. And also sentence is meaning, isn't it? So we don't care about Juliet or Julia eat the lunch. We're just trying to see, oh, people eating a lunch. Right? That meaning is stored rather than particular name. That's why sentence is difficult to, it's not difficult. Sentence, when you see the sentence, we try to retrieve the meaning. That's why we can't find the typos. Typo means the spelling errors, right? Very difficult to find it because we will pick up the meaning. That's why we need helping what? Underlined, red underlined on Microsoft Excel. When you have typos, they will help you to guide. That is typos, errors, typing errors, right? No response, really boring, you get sleepy. So I'm trying to make you wake up, in particular boys. In particular boys. Likewise, this one. My favorite actress, Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock. Right, the reason why I put this one is this one. Okay, so if we know that we retrieve the meaning of sentence and we are very good to understand picture or images. So I don't know why we haven't either. That is my question to you. One of you needed this experiment or studies. Whether in the week 3 I mentioned that we are really good at face recognition, isn't it? We are good at face recognition. We have a special mechanism. Many studies say we have a very special mechanism on face recognition. My question is, do we put some of the meaning into the face? Like what I did. Gorgeous, smiley, cute. Like handsome, beautiful, funny, something. Do we do that? Huh? How we can know quickly that is Jiung, that is Yonghyun? We are really good at. But whether we have put some meaning them, like Jiung is Jiung face, that is Yonghyun face, the Yonghyun is labeling of you, isn't it? So whether we are remembering the name or picture, do we? But if we remember the picture, we can add up the label, or Kyung smart, something like Jaehyun sexy, something. Huh? Is it possible? I mean, what I'm saying is, I don't know exactly whether that is right one or wrong. Okay, we have the same Sandra Bullock, okay? But how we can easily recognize these 4 of them is all Sandra Bullocks. Oh, they have different face. Some of them is angry, some of them is dull, and some of them is sexy, or some of them is smiley. How can we identify it so easily that is all Sandra Bullock? Do we have put the meaning on the face? Or what? That's the question about this experiment. So, whether we try to retrieve the meaning of picture or just picture. Huh? So when you look at the picture, okay, or this scene, am I trying to retrieve the meaning of the picture or just picture? Curious, isn't it? Sandra Bullock, only face, or the meaning at the same time. So experiment is done like that. We have 3 pictures. Okay. First picture. That is the first stimuli. So they have seen 10 seconds or 20 seconds. That doesn't much important. They saw this one, and then this one is gone, and then they asked whether this one is same with the previous one, whether this one is same with the previous one. Okay, that is original one. Sorry, that is original one. Look at that. That is Atlas, and she has stripes. Okay, the lines, crossed line on her pant, right? The second picture, it is different, like a 숨은 그림 찾기, like. Okay? Same thing and dotted. Okay, and third picture is the same pant with the original one, but Atlas is different. Okay, that is original one, Atlas, and this pant. Second one is same thing, only different dot. And third one is this picture itself is changing. Your guess? Which one is quickly identifiable? Pant? This one? If people identify the difference of the pen style, what can it say? Meaning or visual information processing? Yes, yes. If they identify this one is much quicker, that means meaning. Because this one, okay, this one looks like what? Teaching some of the social science, right? Social science thing. But like this one, it might be different subject, right? So when you look at this picture, you're trying to retrieve the meaning, right? Might be. If this one is, if some people had quicker to find the difference from this picture, we can conclude that people retrieving meaning of picture, isn't it? Rather than visual acuity, right? So exactly what he expected. People trying to retrieve what? Meaning. See, that is conclusion. Okay? Meaning of picture more memorable than style, which means people can easily identify this one is wrong, this one is different from the original one, rather than stripe. So, which means even though we look at the picture, we try to retrieve the meaning. That's why I use the Sandra block. Maybe face recognition, same thing. When you look at some face, we try to retrieve personality of people or something. I have no idea, so you find it. More studies for you? Okay, another interesting thing is doodles. You know the doodles is, what is that? Some Ryan. That is old book, is about like this picture. Okay? Some kind of scribble. Doodle, yeah, doodle is scribble thing. So this experiment was this one. So subject to study the doodles with or without an explanation of the meaning. So, likewise, so people without any explanation about this picture versus people with the explanation about this picture. Like this one is bird, or this one is a, I don't know, pin or paper or whatever. If we put the label on particular picture, the power trying to say whether people who had information about this particular picture can recall better than the other group. What's your expectation? Which one is better? Picture with a name or picture without name? Jiung, your stars of today, okay? Star of class, okay? So which one is better? Picture with name or picture without name? Which one is a much good drawing at the end? Okay, 5 seconds, each of 5 seconds. So they saw this one, 5 seconds with name, and the other group is they saw this picture without name, and after that they asked to draw what they have seen. Which one is better drawing? With name or without name? With name, right? Because we're retrieving meaning from the picture. That's why I'm just linked to this one. Maybe face recognition, we're very good at that. So the reason why might be, I say might, okay, might be we put the meaning on the face. That is my theory, so I need to prove it. Younghyun, why don't you do that? Study it. That is good research topic, face recognition. Okay, so that is the major things of today. So from next week, I will finish all the chapter 5 and then move to chapter 6. Okay, any question? And then today, well, yesterday, last night or today? The final due date about your essay 1. Yep, yeah. I haven't checked the email, but I will do something this morning and reply back to you. Right? Thank you.